Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I get free. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Good morning and welcome to the center. We're happy to have you here.
Well, good morning. How are you?
Well, welcome to the center.
Amen.
Would you like a program?
It's all the best to everybody here. I'm going to miss you all. I love you, and it's been an experience. Thank you very much.
So this morning, I just want to give some reminders of how important each and every one of you is. Some of these reminders are coming from the ideas of Dr. Moria. And I want you to realize that as I give each little statement, it's for the spiritual growth, for your own self, along with supporting our fellow humans who are godless. So, if you'd like to make yourself comfortable, maybe close your eyes, settle into your chair, take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, just drop your shoulders and let the cares of the day wash away. And with each breath, notice the presence of God in you, around you, wrapping you in love and safety, and knowing exactly who you are, a child of God. And as we realize the presence of God and feel it, these are ways that God works through us and as us. And since God is all there is, I am a child of God, as is each one of you here. As a godlet, I have all the attributes and the power of God. As I grow in the awareness of the presence in me, more of who I really am is revealed to me. God uses my body for accomplishments and caring actions, thereby deepening my compassion for myself and for others. God uses my voice to give comforting words and to harmonize emotions. God uses my heart to feel and express joy and to share that with those around me. I now declare my desire for God to be in my constant awareness. Peace fills me. I am kind. I am wise. I feel grateful to be God's expression and deliverer. I deliberately fill my heart with love daily. I release these words into God's law, knowing that all of this has been an uplifting shift for each of us. Thank you, God. together we say, and so it is.
Comfortable for you. Please close your eyes. And just for a moment, I'd like to speak in the first person for you. A sacred space has been created here this morning. And in this space, I know that God is that love, that presence, that creative intelligence that is everything. In this moment, I can relax because I know I'm one with God. But not just me. Each and every person that's here this morning can relax in this truth and say, I am one with God. And everything that God is, I am. My heart is wide open this morning as I fully embrace who I am. It's a new year, a new me, and I'm excited. I step boldly into all the good that God has in store for me. And I accept this truth, that with God all things are possible. As I rest in the knowledge that I need do nothing, for it's the Spirit within that doeth the work. Old patterns that no longer serve me, gone. Limited thinking, gone. I accept the gifts and talents that God has given me, and I say yes. Yes to life. Yes to a brand new me. Yes to who I truly am, a magnificent child of God. I know the message delivered by Reverend Stacy this morning lines up with all of the things I need to move me forward in this new year. So I just simply say, thank you, God. And with a very grateful heart, I say, thank you, God, for our three ministers. They are our way showers. I'm so grateful for our ministry of prayer team, the volunteers, the sound guys, Patty's sweet voice, and Dave, who knows just the right notes to play, to lift us up and to calm us down and keep us centered. And Julius, who always makes us look good, even when we think we're having a bad day. So this prayer is done. I can let go and let God now, and I just release my word into the Lord, knowing that God's perfect work is being done, and we can all say, and so it is.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Stacy Hilton. I am one of the senior ministers here, along with Reverend Cheryl Bell and Reverend Dan Jerome, who is he's feeling under the weather. So prayers to Reverend Dan. We've got a couple of people that are not feeling up to snuff, let's say. So please put your prayer requests in the box, and our Minister of Prayer team will get on that right away. So, the theme this month is Living the Science of Mind.
Yes. Hold on just a second. Your mic is
Oh.
not on your ear anymore.
Oh.
But
You can hear me.
But it's working. She has this little bitty ears.
Yeah, I'm not related to Dumbo, I guess. That was weird now, Cheryl. Yeah. Sorry. You can hear me? Okay. Yeah, I guess. It's kind of weird. So the theme of the month is Living the Science of Mind. And the talk title is Science, Superstition, and Common Sense. The overview so far for the month, and we call January kind of the going back to basics. Science of Mind 101. Science of Mind, also known as, or formerly known as, religious science. And Reverend Dan started off with probably my most favorite talk that he's ever done. I'm talking about what is science of mind. And he spoke about science of mind being... Something's going on over there. He spoke about science of mind being an operating system for human volition. And so if you put love in, you get love out. If you put joy in, you get joy out. If you put peace in, you get peace out. And if you put garbage in, you get garbage out. So I know that we're all putting love in, the love that we are, and peace and joy and all of those attributes of the divine spirit. And then Reverend Cheryl last week, she had a hard topic. It's hard because it's only 9 pages in the textbook. And it's called How to Use It. So how to use the law, how to use the law of mind in action. And, you know, it's so simplistic that for me, it's one of the harder things to speak about. Because really, you could get up here and talk in about 3.5 minutes and be done with that talk. So she did a good job. And she reminded us that there's a power in the universe for good, and we can use it. Not only can we use it, but we do use it. And so you need to be conscious of how you use it. Garbage in, garbage out, or love in and love out. And she also talked about the 5 steps of spiritual mind treatment. And spiritual mind treatment is also known as affirmative prayer. And it is a tool that we use to know truth and to manifest and to demonstrate all the good that we want in our lives. And instead of that old faithful standby that we all use, seed, soil, plant, which I get a little bored with, don't you, right? You get the apple seed, the soil and the conditions are right for the soil, you plant the apple seed into the law or the soil, and an apple is produced. Well, you know, she talked about shopping, which I'm not a big shopper. However, I do like to buy stuff. And I'm an immediate gratification kind of person, so none of this online thing for me, you know? I want to go to Macy's. Macy's shoe department, right? Right? Russell, will you show that, that clip? So my friend Mary Baker bought me that. I'm putting it up in my closet. So, you know, Cinderella, proof that a new pair of shoes can change your life. So I love that. So, back to Reverend Cheryl and her talking about the shopping. And so she said, you recognize the store that you want to go to. So in my sense, it's going to be Macy's, particularly the shoe department. And then you unify yourself with that. You know, there's one life. That life is Macy's. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. And then you know, and you declare what you want. I want shoes. I always want shoes. You know, I decided I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna leave the wine. I'm gonna lose a few pounds, leave the wine, have a little less wine. I'm not gonna leave it alone completely. Have a little less wine and buy more shoes. That's how that works. And so you go to the shoe department and you find the shoes that you want, and then you take them to the sales clerk. The sales clerk representing the law just says yes, as long as the conditions are right, right? If you have your debit card, your checkbook, whatever your form of payment is, and you have enough for the said shoes, the clerk says yes. And then you walk away, you say thank you, hopefully you say thank you. And then the release is you leave the store. Right? Right. Right. So she did give us, remember Cheryl did give us some reasons why we may not see a manifestation. And I just, you know, if you don't have the form of payment, you don't have enough money in the account, you left your wallet, yada, yada, yada. There are several reasons why you may not walk out with a pair of shoes. And then she also introduced thought plus feeling plus belief equals manifestation. And the belief is a really, really important part, and too often we either we're not familiar enough with science of mind to know that, or we forget that part. Because if your belief system does not support that in which you want, it does not matter how positive you are, you won't manifest. This is a science. Those things that we're talking about, it's systematically done. It's knowledge and it's stuff that you can prove all the time. In the Science of Mind textbook written by Dr. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder, on page 74, entitled Science. Science is the knowledge of facts based upon some proven principle. The scientific investigation of anything is, of necessity, a cold-blooded proposition. We speak about knowing, about science being absolute knowledge. Science is absolute knowledge, insofar as the facts of science are demonstratable. This is absolutely something that we demonstrate all the time, don't we? Yes. What is science? From another perspective, dictionary.com. Russell, will you show that slide? So science is a branch of knowledge or study dealing with a body of facts, systematically arranged and showing the operation of general laws. Systematic knowledge of the physical or material world gained through observation and experimentation. Systematized knowledge in general, knowledge as a facts or principle, knowledge gained by systematic study. And so that's why we study this week after week after week, and we're living it, hopefully, not just when we come here, but when we're in our daily life. We are using it, even when we're not in this building. We all know this. And so we have to constantly be aware and be conscious of how we're using it. So that's the science portion of it. You know, I didn't get approval from this person to tell this story, so I won't use their name. I won't use their gender. So I'll call them they, but they're not gender questioning. So this person had been coming for a while, and they told me that, you know, this stuff really works. You know, I've been coming here for a couple of years, and I had a great demonstration. That's what we love to hear. You know, so please share that with me. That really inspires me. And Dr. Holmes tells us that trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. So I believe in not only prayer, but also in science of mind. And I can sometimes move into that which is called superstition. So superstition is that belief of something outside of the thing itself. Maybe it's a rabbit's foot. Maybe it's a four-leaf clover. But there's other things out there that we sometimes put our faith and belief in, that we believe are, and you know, all things are God. So don't get me wrong. God is in the rabbit's foot. God is in the four-leaf clover. God's in the tarot cards, and is in the astrology. But if I put all of my faith in that and forget that I have freedom of choice, I am now into being superstitious. Reverend Cheryl and I went to lunch last Saturday, and I was on this Macy's shoe thing back then. That's where I got this stuff from. So we're going to lunch. I had lunch, and then I'm like, I got a gift card from her, and I'm going to go buy shoes. And so before going to Macy's, we passed another shoe store, and it said 50% off. And I was all excited. I was like, oh, but I have a gift card, so I'm going to go to Macy's. And I walk into Macy's, and there's these darling pair of shoes, except for their wine color, which is how ironic is that? They're wine color. I don't wear that color. It doesn't look good. Except for in my glass. So, they were adorable. They had little tassels, and they were like the perfect height, and I really wanted those shoes. And so Cheryl, she's looking around, and you know, she's getting all frustrated with me. And then we moved on. She went and asked the cashier. They didn't have my size. And that was okay. I found some really, really cute pair of boots. See, I got one pair only today. And I got another pair of boots, so that was good. But then the next day, I had a board meeting, and Reverend Cheryl was going to meet me back at Trader Joe's to do my other favorite thing. One of my other favorite things is drink some wine at Trader Joe's. And she didn't show up. She had something else to do. So I said, you know what? If there is a parking space in front of this store, then that means that I'm supposed to go to that shoe store and buy those shoes. So guess what? I manifested the parking space, right? Downtown Summerlin at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, that is no easy task, my friends. Not an easy task. Manifested the parking space. I put all my faith in that parking space because I knew, since I got the parking space, I knew I was going to get some shoes, some more shoes. Well, I went in the store. Everything's $200, $300. Like, they're not cute. Heels are this, you know, I always have on heels. I'm only 5'2". And I appreciate being 5'2". However, you know, 5'5" would have been nice as well. And so all the shoes, they're kind of funny looking, and they don't look like me, and I was like, I walked out of there a little disappointed. And I thought about it, well, I had associated or correlated the fact that this parking space meant that I was going to get shoes in my mind. And that's not how that works. That's not where the faith was in the parking space as opposed to in what? What I really wanted. So that was my sad shoe story for the night. It was a lot of good that came from it. So I don't often, a lot of times, I mean, I love astrology, I love that stuff, but I kind of get into that believing it and believing, and not necessarily that it's not true, I forget sometimes that I have a choice. If it says, you need to, Virgo, you need to stay in bed and don't go anywhere today because it's going to be a bad day. I'm a Virgo, in case you guys didn't know that. And so my tendency, my belief system's tendency is to stay in bed, want to stay in bed, and know that it's going to be a bad day. I can choose differently. I can choose differently, and I have to choose differently. Just because something out there tells me one thing, I have the freedom of my mind and the use of my mind that can change the conditions, always. So be careful. I mean, the tarot cards, the crystals, all of that stuff, it's fun. But where's the real power? It's within you. A couple years ago, Reverend Cheryl, she had a major seizure. She happened to be in my room that morning. Very, very scary to see your friend out of control and flailing around and not knowing what to do. And it was around Christmas, right after her birthday, and I was leaving that day, and she had made cookies, that's why she was in my room, she didn't want to miss me before leaving. And so she has this seizure, it seemed like it went on for about 5 minutes. And, the next day I had to leave to get to LA. And her mom was still living at the time. And so I took off, I wear that Sign Simone necklace. And I said, wear this, and just to make sure that you're okay. Now I didn't do that out of superstition. My mindset, and I was clear about that, my mindset was, if you can remember you have this on, then you remember the teaching. Much different thing, right? Yes. People wear crosses. Sometimes, well, if I don't have my cross, then, it's not going to be a good day. Whatever it is that you feel attached to, the power is in God. The power is in the Creator. The power is in the divine expression, not in the symbol. What is superstition, Russell? From dictionary.com. A belief or notion not based on reason or knowledge in or of the ominous significance of a particular thing, circumstance, occurrence, proceeding, or the like. A system or collection of such beliefs, a custom or act based on such a belief, a rational fear of what is unknown or mysterious, especially in connection with religion. Anybody superstitious? Yeah. Just think about it. You don't have to take what I say. Think about it. So the rabbit's foot is God, the four-leaf clover is God, the tarot cards are God, the crystals are God. It's all God. But keep in mind where the real power is. I got an email from, I'll call her Reverend Amy. You guys know who Reverend Amy is? She's Practitioner Amy, right? Practitioner Amy was one of the first practitioners here. She was Lauren, Dan, and Reverend Cheryl's teacher, first teacher, and Judith's teacher. And she's going to be taking her exam to become a minister in the spring. Yeah. And so I'm just claiming that she's already Reverend. She's already been that for me anyway. And so she sent me an email, is there any advice? Which is funny coming from my teacher. And, I didn't want to sound so cliche. And, I gave her, it was a tough test. It was a fair test. I probably studied for 6 months or a year. And I had studied old tests, and all of the stuff that I went through. And when I sat down to take the test, the 8-hour exam, there was nothing on the test that I thought was going to be on the test. Wow. So the only thing I could do was, through every question, say a prayer. And it sounds a little cliche, we know this stuff. It's like it sounds kind of, I'm like, am I really typing this? And I know she knows, she's my teacher. But the truth is, connect with that within you and go take the next step. That's all you can do. That's all we can do. So, good thoughts out there to Amy. Prayer is always answered, but prayer is not always answered. No, prayer, I don't know what that says. Prayer is always answered, but the answer, like the results of a scientific experiment, will depend not on what you are hoping to achieve, but on the laws governing the elements you have put together. That's Eric Butterworth from the Universal's calling. Then there's this thing called common sense. My mom always says common sense isn't very common anymore. We return to common sense when we recognize there is no magic in our words, but the power is in our belief, the consciousness in which we say the words. Merely to abstain from wrong thinking is not enough. There must be active right thinking. We've got to think rightly. We've got to, as Reverend Cheryl told us, we've got to be conscious all the time. All the time. We don't have that luxury right now, people. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not even going to go there today. I'm just praying. That's the one thing I know I can do for the whole situation. Again, the Science of Mind textbook written by Dr. Holmes, page 75, where he defines the science of mind. Let us then approach the science of mind with awe, but not with fear, with a truly humble spirit, but not with any sense that we are unworthy, and certainly with no superstition. Let us approach it normally, happily, willing to accept it, glad to experiment with it, believing that as a result of our efforts, we shall derive this great good, a better understanding of the natural laws of life as they apply to the individual and his or her relationship to the universal scheme of things. The science of mind, then, is a study of life and the nature of the laws of thought, the conception that we live in a spiritual universe, that God is in, through, around, and for us. There is nothing supernatural anywhere on any plane. That which today seems to be, to us, supernatural, after it is understood, will be found spontaneously natural. We say there is a universal mind, but no one has ever saw it. We say God is spirit, but no one has ever seen God. The Bible says no man hath seen God at any time, only the Son. He hath revealed him. To express this idea in our language, no one has seen cause, because we see an effect. We know there must be a cause. Nothing is more evident than the fact that we live, and since we live, we must have life. And since we have life, there must be life. The only proof we have of mind is what we think. The eternal principle is forever hidden. So this week, go out and practice. Go out there and give your love. Go out there and shine your light. Go out there and...
Unexpected.
Oh, of course. Go out there and practice prosperity and just keep giving all the love that I feel every time I walk into the place when he's all over here. Thank you, and have a great week. You can stand and connect. I'm looking at Abby's shoes. I'm thinking she's a shoe girl too, huh? And so as you hold that person's hand next to you, remember that that is God in expression. Each of us are the love and the light and the peace and the power and the joy and all the good that God is. And it's up to us to remember that and to be that and to act like that no matter what the condition seems to be. So in that knowingness of who and what I am, I just say thank you, Divine Spirit, for this beautiful day. Thank you for each and every person that shows up here that makes my life the life that it is. And it's a life of joy, a life of love. I'm just so very grateful for this teaching, for the science of the mind, for my own good God-given common sense that I use, and for all of it, and the chance to practice all the time. I am always practicing, as I know each and every person is always practicing. And so happy in, happy out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I release, I let go, knowing that this is done. And together we say, and so it is.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me.
Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it